All right, hello, and how are you? It is Mrs. Smith again, and we are working on, actually, this is the third part to lesson 3.7. This is a big lesson, and it's multi-step equations, so lots of distributive property, collecting like terms, those kinds of things with variables on both sides. This last part deals with your favorite story problems or real world situations. So remember, when you're doing these, your equations are going to get set up with variables on both sides. So remember, each time that you do these, keep in mind what the equation is going to look like, because that kind of helps you with the setup. So I am currently on page 18 in your note packets. We finished up 17 in the page 16 and 17 in the last two videos. So again, variables on both sides. I'm going to just write that up here too, just as a reminder. Variables on both sides. And as I'm doing that, I also want to just kind of say, it would be something like this: 3x plus 7 equals 2x plus 9, or something like that, if you look back. So variables on both sides. So you can kind of see with that number 8 that we just did, there's variables on both sides. Sometimes there's numbers on both sides, sometimes there's not. All right, so we're going to use some word problem breakdown. First thing, read through it and underline the question. So Jack weighs 88 pounds. Together, he and his sister weigh 9 pounds more than 2 times the weight of his sister. What is the weight W of Jack's sister? Write and solve the equation. Okay, kind of sounds complicated, and it is, but we can make it through. So first and foremost, underline the question. What is the weight W of Jack's sister? So when you get to Jack's sister, you're going to put a W. Now, they told you to use W, so I got to use a W when it comes to Jack's sister. So it says Jack weighs 88 pounds. Together, that's him. So I'm going to put that 88 here because that's him. He and is going to be a plus. His sister, that's his sister. So there we go. His sister is W. Weigh 9 pounds more than 2 times the weight of his sister. Okay, so it says Jack and his sister. So he and his sister, 88 plus W, weigh. This weigh, believe it or not, is going to be your equal sign. And it says 9 pounds more than is a clue. It would be addition. 2, that's 2, times means multiply, the weight of his sister. So there's that weight of his sister again. So that's another W. And remember, I'm going to have variables on both sides. So there's my 2 variables. What is the weight W of Jack's sister? So remember, always 2 parts. Most important part to me is being able to write the equation. And this kind of outlines it for us. 88, he's 88. And then it says plus W equal 9 plus, and now this is the only part that you have to, and I think I was doing it in this blue before, 2 times W. You got to put it together. You can't write 2 times W because I'm a big kid now, so you got to smush them together, which would be 2W. All right, and so that's all you have. Do you have variables on both sides? You do. Now, draw a line down the center to create that balance. And you have to put variables on one side, constants on the other. It doesn't matter which one. We already have discovered it doesn't matter either way. You'll get the same answer. I kind of see that this is 2W, so I'm going to put my variables on this side, and I'm going to put my constants, which is just fancy for numbers, on this side. So I'm going to move that variable first. So I'm going to get rid of it on the constant side, and I'm going to put it over here on the variable side. So I'm going to subtract W. That leaves me with 88. Those cancel. Equals, bring down my 9, and then I have 2W minus W. Now remember, this is my ghostly Gladys 1. So that would be 1W. So 2 minus 1 is just 1W, or just W. You can write it either way. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? 2-step. So way back to the beginning, we go again, 2 steps. So get rid of the buddies. Well, actually, technically, I think this is a 1-step because W doesn't have a buddy next to it. So I'm going to subtract 9, and I'm going to subtract 9. And 88 minus 9, of course, you can use your calculator, but hopefully you can do that one in your head, which is 79, equals W. Does it make sense that his sister might weigh 79 pounds and he weighs 88 pounds? Yeah, sounds reasonable. So B, his sister weighs 79 pounds. Dun, da, da, da. So again, two things that we're looking for. One, being able to write an equation, which is right here. And then two, being able to solve it. All right, let's try another. Variables on both sides, keep that in mind. Sarah, and this is much like the last one we just did, Sarah weighs 122 pounds. Together, she and her sister weigh 12 pounds more than 3 times the weight of her sister. What is the weight W of Sarah's sister? So when we get to Sarah's sister's weight, we're going to put a W. So it's just like the last one. Go ahead and try it out. Maybe pause the video and try it yourself. See how you do. So Sarah weighs 122 pounds. Together she, so there she is, 122 pounds. And, so that's a plus. Her sister, oh, there's her sister. She's a W. Weigh is your equal, 12 pounds. And then more than means plus. 3 means 3. Times means multiply. Oh, and there we go. Weight of her sister, W. So we have all of it together. So here we go. We write it down. 122 plus W equals 12 plus, and once again, you got to put these together. You can't write 3 times W. You're going to write 3W. Did you get it right? Hopefully you said yes. So once again, we need to put variables on one side, constants on the other. I think I'm going to make this my variable side again and this my constant because this is a 3W. So first job, get my variables on the same side. So I'm going to bring down 122 equals 12, and then I have 3W minus W, which would be a 2W. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Rock it out. 2-step equation. Next, get rid of the buddies. Minus 12 minus 12. So 122 minus 12 is 110 equals, and that's 2W. Now get rid of the buddy, divide by 2, divide by 2. And so 110 divided by 2 is 55 equals, these cancel, or really become a 1, and it's W. So she weighs 55 pounds, Sarah weighs 122 pounds. Definitely, her sister's a little bit smaller, but she could be 10 years younger. Who knows? We have no idea. So, B, her sister weighs 55 pounds. Now, if it said something like her sister weighs -4 pounds, we know, obviously, we did something wrong. You can't weigh a -4. So definitely always look and see, does my answer make sense? Is it reasonable? And moving on. Now, here's another one, and this is very typical. By the way, those last ones, the weights, I believe there's one just like that on your quiz, and if there's not one on the quiz, it's definitely on the test, so you're going to need to know how to set those up, so good to know. Now, the other type that you see with a 2-step equation could be something like this, and it's always like doing like one company versus another company, or one like phone plan, which I think that's what this is, against another phone plan, or maybe one athletic club versus another athletic club. So this, I'm going to kind of show you how it kind of gets put together first, okay? So it says one cell phone company charges $35 to start a startup fee and $55 per month. Another cell phone company charges $81 startup fee and $32 per month. Write and solve an equation to determine when the cost is the same. Now, you have to be careful because sometimes they'll just say when the cost is the same and they won't tell you exactly what that is going to represent. But we know it's a $35 startup fee, and it says it's $55 per month. So it sounds like we don't know what month says. So to determine the cost is the same, X is going to stand for months. So sometimes it doesn't tell you in these problems. Most of them do, but this one doesn't happen to be. So months is what we're looking for. So now I'm going to highlight. Here's one cell phone company. Everything that you need for that cell phone company is in yellow. So I'm going to put right over here in yellow, company number 1. And a lot of them get set up with this company number 1. And it's always going to be versus or equal. And then I'm going to pull up my company number 2. So over here is going to be company number 2. Okay, so line down the center, we're going to talk about company number 1. So it says one cell phone company charges $35 to start up, and so that's a one-time fee to start it, $55 per. Do you know what per means? You should. Per means multiply. And there's that month, so that's my X. So $35 and $55 per month. Let me highlight in that blue because this is where you got to combine it. You can't write it like this. So 55 times X would be 55X. Equals, now let's look at company number 2. Another cell phone company charges $81 startup fee and $32 per, which means multiply, month, which is our X. So 81 to start up and 32, and again, like I said, got to kind of combine those 32 per month, so that's going to be 32X, because I'm a big kid now. All right, so do I have variables on both sides? I do. Yay, me. So now I'm going to decide, put variables on one side and constants on the other. I think I'm going to make this my variable side because there's 55 on this side, and I'm going to make this my constant side. So that's my first job. Move my variables together. So I'm going to subtract 32X. So then that would be 35 plus what's 55 minus 32, which is 23X equals 81, and it cancels. Now, guess what? Two-step. So, got to get rid of the buddy. You need to isolate the variable. I'm going to subtract 35, my not so close buddy first. And then those cancel. This is going to be 23X equals 81 minus 35, 5. So that's 26. No, 46. I don't know where my math is. 46, sorry. And then I'm going to divide by 23. Gosh, I'm running out of room. And divide by 23. And then X is equal to 46 divided by 23, which is 2. So that means at exactly 2 months, the costs for either cell phone company is the same. So if you're going to have your cell phone more than 2 months, you'd probably go with company number 2. Even though their startup fee was more, it's only $32 per month. So at 2 months, they're exactly the same. And so if you're going to have your phone more than 2 months or that plan more than 2 months, I'd go with company 2. If you're going to have that plan only 1 month, go with company 1 because the startup fee is less. And then if you're going to have your phone 2 months, then either company, it's going to be exactly the same. So let's see, determine when the cost is the same. This was part A. So part B, 2 months is when the cost is the same. Okay, so once again, equation and answer. All right, one more. And this one, again, a difficult one. These are all kind of difficult. This one's a little bit different. And this one is on a quiz or a test as well. So this is going to be one that you're going to want to practice and know how to do. So it says, at Video Shack, movie rentals cost $3.99 each. I'm just going to start with the $3.99 each. Okay. And then that's for a movie rental. The cost of renting 3 movies and 1 video game is going to be our equals 11 cents less than the cost of renting 5 video games. How much does renting a video game cost? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a toughie. This is the granddaddy of them all. All right, if you can do this, you are awesome. So here it goes. It says movie rentals cost $3.99 each. You are renting 3 movies. So this each means you're going to take $3.99 and multiply it by the 3 movies. I don't know how it would be best. Should I like maybe make that a green? So $3.99 and 3 movies. Those kind of go together. So I am buying movies plus video games, and that's going to equal a total. Ooh, doggy, this is tough. Okay, so movies, it's that green part. $3.99, and I buy 3 movies. So I'm going to take and do 3 times $3.99. And I'm going to put in parentheses because I got to multiply those together. Plus, that's my and, 1 video game. Okay, well, video game, we don't know. That's my x. So 1 video game is 1x equals, now it is, because it is, equals 11 cents less than the cost of renting 5 video games. Now, 5 video games is again my x, so I know that's going to be 5x that I'm going to put together. Now, you have to kind of be very careful. I think I'm going to do movies here and here, okay? Video games, it says 5 video games, but this word less than is very, very tricky. And I'm going to write this in red so it kind of sticks out. That word than means the stuff before the less than goes at the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another whole level to this one. This one is tough. So it says it's 11 cents less than. So because of this word than, this word right here, this word means the stuff before it. So this 11 cents goes at the end, and that means this whole 5x part for video games, and maybe I make this a purple. Video games here, 5 video games is going to go first. So video games here, and then that's a video game, because this was video game, 1 video game, and now I'm going to write 5x minus 11 cents, because again, I have to flip-flop them because of that less than. Okay? Whew. Maybe I'll even, just so you can kind of see, let's do this pink. And the pink is the second part, all of this. And it goes on the other side, which is a total. Okay, all right. So now we have a little math to do. We have 3 times $3.99. So that is going to be $11.97. Of course, you can use your calculator. Or you could think round up to $4. 3 times 4 is 12, and then you have a penny off of each one. So $11.97, that's just another way to think of it. Plus 1x equals 5x minus 0.11. Do I have variables on both sides? I do. I need to make variables one side. I'm going to make this my variable, and I'm going to make this my constant. So I am going to subtract the 1x to my other side. So that gives me $11.97, those cancel, equals 4x minus 0.11. So then I'm going to add 0.11, and I'm going to add 0.11. And then I have $11.97 plus 11 cents, which would be, I got to write it over here, I ran out of room, $12.08 equals, these cancel, bring down my 4x, divide by 4, and x is equal to $12.08 divided by 4. Of course, you can use your calculator, which is $3.02. So $3.02 is the cost of the video game. And it's the video game rental, I guess I should say, which is a little bit different than actually purchasing a video game. So again, my equation, and then my answer. That one is tough. There's several that we practice, but again, you will see something like that on your quiz and your test. It's a toughie, but they all follow this rule. All right.